Now it is the biggest day so far in the 2024 presidential race. Super Tuesday. Where did that come from? Voters in 15 states choose their presidential candidate.
Well, it follows a Supreme Court ruling that struck down an effort by Colorado to bar Donald Trump from its Republican primary. Speaking after the decision, the former president celebrated.
And they worked long, they worked hard, and frankly, they worked very quickly on something that will be spoken about 100 years from now and 200 years from now. Extremely important. Essentially, you cannot take somebody out of a race because an opponent would like to have it that way.
Wow.
Well, Amy Tarkanian is a Republican strategist. She joins us now from Las Vegas. Good morning. Firstly, can you tell us why Super Tuesday is so important in the US political calendar and what exactly it is?
Sure. Well, it includes 15 states and 1 territory, and roughly a third of the delegates that are allocated are sent out on that day. So it's extremely important. You have 854 to be precise. And so you need to have 1,215 in order to become the nominee. And actually, Donald Trump is scheduled to obtain almost all of them, if not all of them.
Amy, we've spoken many times since we first started speaking a couple of years ago. People might or might not know that you used to be a Trump supporter. You're not any longer. Let's put that to one side a second. Yesterday, the Supreme Court saying, absolutely, he should be allowed to stand in the ballot. A slightly, I don't know how to describe him in that clip, sort of slightly calmer than usual. However we dress this up, the longer this goes on, the longer the White House sticks with Joe Biden, this is how I see it, Donald Trump very likely will be your next president, which for many people is shocking and for many people it isn't. I don't understand the Nikki Haley strategy in staying in, except somebody explained to me the other day that she's staying in unless he's indicted criminally, cannot stand, and she can hoover up the votes. Would that be accurate?
Yes, that would be accurate. And I think also, too, you can add the fact that the messaging is also extremely important, maybe even to trickle down to, say, U.S. Senate or congressional candidates. Be very careful on who you vote for. You want to make sure that we're not just going all in on the MAGA situation. And I think that's why it's important that she continues to fight. Now, I think, however, even though I would love to see her win the nomination after Super Tuesday, I would actually think that she should step aside.
Fascinating. And Amy, you're a Republican strategist. What do you make of the Trump camp and their focusing and targeting of young black voters? They seem to have abandoned generally the female vote, but with young black voters, and then designing a sneaker as if this was what mattered most to that particular demographic. Right. It's offensive, if anything.
It's incredibly offensive. And not only that, but he took it a step further and said the fact that he has been indicted, they all agree with him because they too understand what it's like to be indicted. I mean, he's lumping an entire demographic into being criminals. You know, the best thing,
the thing that interests me, Amy, is we could sit here and we could go, oh my God, and I get that. I get all of that. I read an article at the weekend that said the Latino vote and black vote is absolutely swarming towards Donald Trump. I don't know. I don't live in America, but what I want to say is this ain't going away. He's going to walk Super Tuesday. He is going to absolutely get that nomination. And however much people jump up and down, there's every likelihood that he will be the next president of the United States. And people are going to have to wise up to that pretty damn quickly, I think. And that's not being disrespectful. But I also wanted to ask you, sorry, the Kamala Harris, the world's most unpopular politician, worse than Donald Trump, hasn't been seen in 3.5 years, rolled out to say a ceasefire, meeting Benny Gantz. I was wondering why the president wasn't doing this. Is this a play to put her more in the spotlight because of Biden's deficiencies, do you think?
Well, they've tried to roll her out in a number of situations. You know, they even tried to roll her out when it came to the abortion issue, and it didn't didn't take off. They tried to roll her out when it came to illegal immigration, and it didn't take off. I think the more they put her out, the more damage she does. And I blame the Democrats for keeping Biden in this race, because that's the best situation for Donald Trump to actually secure this nomination. You have a man who is clearly falling apart mentally. And the fact that he also, you can talk about his son and the connections that they may have with China. He has problems too. So I wish that they would find somebody else. I truly do, because then we could have a really good race with some maybe intelligent individuals to choose from. But it seems that we have Dumb and Dumber.
It's very interesting.
Very good insight there from
It's going to be an interesting year.
It's going to be a very interesting year, both here and across the pond. Thank you to Republican
Thanks, Amy.
strategist Amy Tarkanian. Well,
Thank you.